Fallen moves now only onto the B side. No, Fallen! There it goes. Ceased to find the first of the bolts, the second as well. Stewie taken out. MP9 action doesn't stop. 4 kills for in middle though. That Molotov doesn't inflict any damage. There comes the smoke. Ceased finds one. Ceased finds a second. And as he comes and flanks in from behind, coldzera is also not able to do anything about it. Bolts to be the last individual. Flawless it is for Gambit. Blocks the vision. Fallen doesn't see a thing. Needs to retreat. Whilst Bolt is still in close range. That is going to be the east side aggression. The bomb's still in favor. coldzera with the first. Finding a Dren. The bomb is down and now it has to be brought to the site as soon as possible. coldzera with the double. And that is Doja taken out as well. coldzera with the triple. coldzera not with the quad. I'm talking about it. Towards vent they go. Bolts finds himself a triple with a spray down. Perfectly done. And the quad is there. Those were eco frags, but the spray here from Bolts not coming in by Fallen. As he's now taken out, there might be rotation coming in. Adren finding himself a double, but the B side is a little bit of a problematic position right here. Getting it back though. The problematic situation turned around. Stewie with one. Stewie not onto the double. That would have been crucial. Only Bolt's alive. And he has to find himself 4 frags, including a defuse. Molotov goes deep. That's alright. Dren coming in from behind. Bolt's with one. Bolt's not with the second. 16-14. Only down. Just those pistols. No armor. First, trying as much as possible, shooting all the bullets he has in the magazine continuously. There, Bolt's fully blind. Should now finally be found. Mo, where are his shots going? Figure a way to find him in the end. That was unfortunate. Dren shooting too early, so he only needs to wait, but gets taken out. I need to start to worry at that point. Only 17 HP on the SK Gaming site. Dren surely heard that. Does the peek, finds the player. Fallen moves now only onto the B side. No, Fallen! This is not a base jumping course without a parachute! Flashbangs, all the grenades, they're all coming in right now. Up on the top, there's another one, the retake. Does it work out this time again? Mo is there to find Fallen, but coldzera on the double is doing the job he does best. Whilst Bolt is getting caught off guard. No, Doja, where's your spray going? This needs to work, and Doja finds it in the end. But coldzera, he could be the one who clutches it out. He's already onto 4 frags. Only sees to find. He doesn't pull through. coldzera goes up and takes the height advantage. Does he clutch it though? He does! No, he does! He doesn't! Question we really have to ask ourselves. Does the 5-7 do the job? Not the case. One still standing there. coldzera it is, and I think Hobbit might have a problem with that duel. No chance. That's surprising. He looks in the wrong direction for a moment. Mo hits the shot onto that one. Fallen is the last individual. We're going into overtime. If he moves a little bit more forward, that AWP could become hella lethal, but at that point in time, the problem is if he goes around, then he'll spot the bomb. But it's either way only down to Adren, and it seems like we got ourselves 19-17. I'm not saying that. I'm not finishing my sentence like this, but Stewie gets him 19-17. Interested in aggression. Adren doesn't see a thing, and they're on the spot and on shore before everything started. Doja stops him though, as he's not interested in having any kind of guys just back on his site. They don't belong there. Get away with those aggressors. As Ren Doja, I don't have the opportunity to do it on his own. He's on his third already. Possibly interested in more. Does this become an X-God ace? Possibly. What's behind? Don't knife him. Doja, don't do it. He doesn't, and he aces it on his own. Takes down Fallen. You're seeing it right here. And a ceased finding Fallen. coldzera getting ceased in the return. Those moss shots. It's a horrible spray pattern. It's 25 bullets. It's not the best thing to really work with. As Doja finds coldzera, only Fur as well as Stewie alive. That bomb's going down. 18, 45, and 100 left on the Gambit site. Not a single kit we're seeing at that point in time. That means the retake has to be fast forwarded just a little. 3 plays around it. Finds Doja by accident, I think, as he just shoots for the smoke, not even intentionally. That happening right now. 2 more are hiding themselves. That will be a tough retake. First one to find. Fur just relaxes. As he finds himself one, finds himself Hobbit as well. And that means Fur with the 4K cleaning it up. They're in middle. Then check if they can find someone connector. And if that isn't working, cool with it. Drendo! Oh, those shots onto Fallen and Stewie. Been very, very useful at that point in time. Mo, who stands back though onto short. And he'll be taken out. The nade does its job well. Molotov coming down. Over short. Now a Mo arrives. Fallen. Accuracy is on point with 1. And so he needs to find himself a few more there in that situation. He could be outmoved here. Gets the one onto Adren as well. Up into the apartments. Another one is. And Stewie finished it off. 16-14. And SK advanced to the finals. Interested in going there over short. Has to do the right jump though. And Demasik on his own has 2 players fairly close to each other. He can't do the job though. Now Jane finds himself the first. Can switch over to the M4 if he would like to and does so. Has spotted Neo. And that Molotov is perfectly done. He has to rotate around any of the sites. No, it doesn't go deep enough. And Jane on the right side. He has to be found. Just needs to be the defuse. It still doesn't happen. When the time is ticking away, Jane comes in and he finds it. Does he have enough time to defuse though? That could become hella tight, but it could be Avantgarde picking up the number 9. Possibly get a fair and fast entry there. Free connector. There's still Crizin finding himself too, not having too much of a problem. With nearly tapping Pasha away, but as he got so much damage from all his teammates, holding that site will just more and more difficult. Demasik down to 18 HP as he suddenly has a bit of a problem with the Molotov coming towards him. Pasha now needs to rotate over. Mihu is the only individual. As he's taken out, only Papa himself. No chance. The P250 closes the case. So Neo and Pasha both have a good opportunity in taking this home. Neo doesn't see a thing, can still hide himself behind that wagon as Aaron Crizin comes close. Pasha finds himself the collateral! That is Crizin and Demasik taken out in the most unfortunate situation it could be. Does Pasha clean it? Pasha cleans it! They might have a bit of a time pressure problem coming at them. There comes the first. Snacks hits it onto Crizin, Snacks hits it onto Kickard, and Snacks could just finish it off there with the pistol as well. He does pick up a triple. 4 versus 4 still establish a time though running out here for Avantgarde. The only one flanking around is Demasik. Doesn't seem to be expected at the moment. As Neodo comes around the corner and then rips his head off. Avantgarde. TikTok it is. And that TikTok gets faster and faster and faster. Bialy finding himself Kickard. James has to make the move. James gets taken out. Crizin with a scout. And probably not too much success we can expect at that point in time, as there is 25 more seconds left. And Kickard back caught up in the corner. Whilst that is the case, the mid aggression and the mid control works. Bialy! Oh no, that was the own team kill. That should have never happened. Crizin though now finds himself Snacksin in the process. Hopefully not another team kill happens. Crizin finds a great flashbang onto Papa himself. And there Jame onto 1. Is the op to be stopped is the question. As Bialy has the right kind of angle for it. Neo comes in from behind. Jame whips his shot and now it gets a little bit more trickier, but there a double kill comes in and Avantgarde. Those 7.62mm rifles now need to work. And the full aggression just comes in. Kickard finds himself the first and Pasha. Kickard is going for the second with Bialy. And Kickard is going for the third onto Mihu. But Neo is not to be stopped behind truck. He takes down the extremely lethal Kazakhstan player. And so only 2 can do it. He's down to 26. James up into 92. Plant is happening either way. Crizin goes out. And Neo is there on the quad. Whilst that is happening, Mihu finds himself Crizin. Demasik finds the refrag. Only 1 defender left alone on the side of A. Now rotating back onto highway while Pasha with Neo holding back on the site of B. And whilst all of this happening, another player lost. The only A defender. Bialy in the situation taken out in the end. It's only Neo and Pasha. Try to rule this out. And whilst that is happening, the awareness of Buster and Co is on the maximum. Because there's no more space to give away. Pasha taken out. Which means Bialy up onto Snacks, might just rule it out on his own. Finds one, can't get onto the second. Now it gets a little bit rushy, and now it gets also a little bit hactical. Pasha back on the side with one, can't find himself more than that. Buster is able to be the one to take out the legend, and now Neo as well. Snacks. Correct myself, it's only Snacks. And the man who usually bites in the Big Apple is going to be taken out. Demasik and Avantgarde are able to go into the final tomorrow. Virtus Pro out of the tournament. Now Krisen as well as Buster be the defender off that side. Krisen has not been spotted yet, and that's getting a little tricky. Buster is just burning away. That could be Krisen finding more. He gets himself Stewie as well. Now he needs to find Bolt, and there's the assistance arriving with James. There to go for Ven. That split towards B has been established. Buster in a very uncomfortable position, can still run away, and Krisen does his job onto one, but not much more than that. Body shot away from dying. Job at least gets coldzera, and that now needs to be the bomb retrieved. That nade goes deep. Barely does damage. The Molotov doesn't hold it off from bolts. Doesn't get close enough. The flames not doing its job that well. At least SK Fur has been found. That means Fallen through the smoke. He's the first. Kicker wants to move through, but no chance about that. James as well as Demasik. Oh, he just jumps down. He probably has been hurt. Fallen needs to find him right now. They do it together. That means the op. Stewie's not interested in a boost by Fallen. Could get a little bit too dangerous. Could get a little bit too hairy. Bolts though takes out Demasik, who's having the wrong kind of timing. Buster should find him. That was the option, not 100% accurate on the point it should be, and they're taking time. This is very much not going in favor of the lads of Avantgarde time-wise right now. Kicker is having a problem because his teammate dies on the site. But what is happening? No, this is the pistol. Kicker, you can't die like this. He finds him. Oh, Fallen, a single body shot would have done it. Now I need to show us what they can do on the CT side. Hold up Avantgarde as early as you can, because otherwise you might fall short earlier than you would like to. That was a flashbang working and a Buster taken out. Stewie finds Krisen as well. Stewie's right now on some good shots. That once more is down to James. It's a nice Deagle, excuse me, a Deagle, a Glock headshot, of course, onto Fur. Ball positioning is good. He gets taken out as well. Falls down in front of the feet of coldzera. Does he check the right corner at the right time? Will it be coldzera actually landing the USPS headshot? And I think he could have saw him here. He finds it, and James is ruling it out on his own. Started off yesterday with a 16-3 against the Polish powerhouse, the veterans of Virtus Pro. Are they able to take down SK on their own map pick? I would be surprised. Honestly, would be surprised, but it looks like that for the moment. Bolt's now moving out, finds a beautiful headshot onto Demasik, turns around and finds himself James as well. Two necessary frags, opening up opportunities. Buster coming in from behind with one, but not with two. That was Fallen, who didn't fall in the end. And that was the worst situation you can be in. Kicker on his own. Can't find himself Bolts. Can't find himself Fallen. And that just means a coldzera to get. And he baits him. He knows coldzera is not defusing. He's aware that the Brazilian has no chance of doing it. Kicker with the triple. But there it comes, and there the fire starts. James with the first one onto Fur. Bolt still hides himself. Casually taken out here. Kicker doesn't stop. And only two more men. Put it down to one. Forget about it. Only Stewie. An MP9 and a dream right now for the American. Can he clutch this out? No chance. 16-7. James finds himself a good bit off control. He doesn't know about Palace though, and that Avantgarde shouldn't feel too relaxed there on the side. coldzera gets a fully flashed Buster. He didn't see a thing anymore in the process. Krisen gets killed as well. coldzera doesn't stop. Double onto him. Demasik as well as James. The only two alive. So Stewie goes around the corner slowly. That doesn't give him any reward. Fallen though finds himself Buster and now makes the run onto the side of B. Krisen with a perfect jump there onto Fallen. Doesn't plant openly though. The Molotov is not very interesting to the Kazakhstan player. So Fallen hits another one. There he's over here in the third. Only Demasik to get. He definitely spotted right now where the Brazilian opera is. But back on bench, he hides. Back on bench, he does not hit the final shot, and now needs to be extremely cautious. He gets the one onto Demasik though, and there is the 11-4. There comes the idea of doing the jump together and coordinate, but coldzera is not to be stopped in coordination with Fallen. That is up control. So he finds himself kicker. That's uncomfortable. Now Krisen as well as Buster need to do it in total. With just a bit of health left, Buster on his own, and that could be the round. It is the round. coldzera finds him. 9-16. And as James is making a move aggressively on the site, now coldzera needs to react to it. Krisen though, how does he find those shots? No, not going to be the case. Same goes for balls. Fur on the double. There's our frags to at least stop it partially, but Fur is not to be stopped. Stu as well as Fallen. What kind of way did they find themselves? Krisen's head has definitely been seen. Stu rips it off. Oh, he doesn't stop. The American does it. It does not feel right somehow. This is a map they can play quite okay. Not the best way, but quite alright. As it goes, Fur with 1 and with 2, and he's burning away right now. Demasik, thanks to Stewie. James Vision, it's just white. That means Krisen, it's time to die here, as they're all hunting down only one guy. It's Balls finding him in the end. Right now, SK found the winning formula in shutting down Avantgarde easily. Fur and Balls are reacting wisely. That's a good bunch of damage right now the ZZs have dealt. The bomb is down, they still need to bring it on the site. But the reinforcements have arrived. And coldzera with 1, coldzera with 2, coldzera with 3. And so it's an easy task for the Brazilian rifler, sniper, #1, whatever you want to call him. He comes here together with Buster. That might be in time. Demasik ripping the head off there of Stu. Doesn't see too much of his body, but still has the right angle to then do the shot. Man, disadvantage, but the bomb is down either way. And James has that kit to do it in the end. They're all back on the site, and Glocks in close range. We see a big cluster of 5 Avantgarde players just waiting for the right timing. coldzera there starts off with 1. coldzera on the double. coldzera possibly on the triple. No, it's going to be Balls from the site. Kicker can't react to it. No chance there. See how that will go. Stu goes out. Demasik, he hears the steps. James wants to use that one. How does he use it though? That's a different kind of question. Oh, James. Nice try for that. coldzera is there to react in time. Krisen on 9 HP should be taken out. Buster and Kicker are the only 2 against also only 2. Kicker can avoid his death right here. That bomb goes down. As it goes, should realize there are a few on his side. Oh, this is coldzera doing it on his own. He does. Quad coming in. Krisen finds a first great frag onto Bolts. The entry you kind of need. Same goes for Jake. Then it suddenly works out with such a buy. So that doesn't seem to be that GG yet. coldzera and Fallen. Brazilian duo. coldzera though gets himself 2. The side of B is now fairly open. James, the individual to possibly rule it out as he finds himself falling. coldzera there is on the refrag. 3k he already is on. Krisen to be the last individual in this. Can the Kazakhstan player actually make it possible? It's okay. Don't worry, horse. Everything's gonna be fine in a second. There, he sees the head. Takes it out. 4k! There comes the kind of aggression you don't want to have, but short. Now in the hands of Buster and Co. Krisen on the same page, finding Balls as well as Fallen. coldzera on his own against Kicker. Takes him out as well. Over long, there's a Krisen to find. James is patient. They're all closing it out onto him. Fur with the flashbang. Oh, James, that was your shot, and suddenly you're letting your teammate die here. That's so unfortunate from the Avant-Garde player. If James would have taken out coldzera. Smoke pops. Buster is there to hold off the aggression. Do they find more than that? Fur finds Buster. The Demon Sick is there to at least get the bomb planter away from C to the players arrive. That's unfortunate. Demon Sick's aggression partially works. He's being sneaky though. There he finds one. And there does he get himself Demon Sick as well. It's just a single bullet he has to pop in that head. Not much more body shots he needs to do. But it's a headshot anyway. 13-3. Seems like the fate has been determined. Prison though, not having chance. All frags happening simultaneously. And let's take a look here. Yeah, SK Gaming, I would be as happy as them as well. That's my language. That's matchmaking. And the lady trying to hype it up as good as she can. There we see Avant-Garde. A little bit weird how Kicker just moves by. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it. That's a massive trophy, though. Looks a little bit like an air intake, but beautiful. And this is the winning trophy for the team that has now won the Adrenaline Cyber League of this year. SK Gaming. They brought it home.